Bessie is here. A question on the arts. You're director of NE14 TV?
No, it's anyone.
Anyone for, sorry, there you are.
It's like anyone for tennis. Actually, yeah.
I like it.
It is like a postcode, but it's a bit clever. Yes, it's just why a business is, that's what my question is, in the media and arts not receiving guidance or partnership with local authorities. I think, again, going back to opening your own business and the arts, you know, education probably should change there, because, yes, you don't know that there are opportunities there, and people who are not academic should have the chance to be creative. And that's why there's crime, that's why we're lacking, because these kids are not academic. Because I work in the community in Benwell, and you know, so I know what goes on there, and we are, you know, we've had employed probably 500 people in the last couple of months, going on for, you know, the local dramas, but I feel like we're always struggling to get funding to train people. It annoys me that things come up here and then we have a training arm, can't get funding for it, but then they bring people from out the area to work on these dramas, you know, which is just, to me, it's like, you know, when there's people in the area who are actually unemployed at the moment who can do that job. And I just think that should be more fairer. And I think Susan is very much like me. She works with the, you know, people in the community, and we both struggle to get further than that. And we are employing people all the time, getting them jobs.
Right. I mean, it's a subject close to my heart as well, and I think, we used to do Tracy Beaker and Vera, and a few bits and pieces are thrown here occasionally, like Wolf Blood or whatever, but really, you know, you compare us to other parts of the country, and we are, again, annexed, yeah.
So what you're talking about there, Bessie, is really quite important, and well done for everything you're doing in that. I'm trying to think of I can't remember the exact date, but it was about 2.5 years ago. I had a conversation with Tim Davey, who was the then new Director General of the BBC. And we had a chat about how do we get more stuff filmed here. There's a bit of a catch-22. If you want to land a big production, they're going to want a lot of experienced people at short notice. You know, because if you're training someone up on set and you've got Harrison Ford here, you know, it's expensive to keep him waiting. And so how do you keep that skilled workforce here if there aren't enough productions? And it's that terrible catch-22. So I was talking to them about, some of it's about more writing. If it's set in the Northeast, it's more likely to be filmed in the Northeast. Not always. You know, Game of Thrones wasn't filmed in Westeros. No. It was filmed in Northern Ireland, in Croatia. But as a result of that, we've developed the Northern Screen Industries Partnership. And there's Fulwell 73 as part of that. We, as the North of Tyne, are part of that. There's a lot of the digital jobs in Barrack Road. And that is,
do you feel connected to all of that?
No, not at all. They don't talk to me. They don't talk to me at all. And we are the biggest agency in the North East. I've been here for 11 years and we do not talk. Not at all. But they get a lot of funding for bringing stuff up, but there's nobody trained here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of headlines about that, yeah.
Yeah, to train. And also you're saying about the sets. We did a little with autistic, you know, kids a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know what, we're going to do a little documentary. And we did a cook-off with 3 Asian ladies, and we got them involved, and I gave them all jobs, and they did it, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. That's how they get their training.
Yeah.
Doing it like I did. I was lucky enough to have Baker Grove to give me training.
Which is coming back as well.
Which is coming back.
But I hope that it,
Well, that's the issue.
Because I've said it for years, but again, you know, it's sort of happening. But that should have happened a long time ago. Up here, we should have had another Baker Grove a long time ago, where people could get training and proper training. And you know, they were brought in from schools and communities, and, you know, we were just ordinary people that got that training. So I hope that still carries on.
I do know from lots in the comedy scene, the stand-up comedy scene, they get very irritated when the BBC send up a junket and say, we're going to put on a 2-day comedy festival, we spend a lot of money, you might chat about sitcoms for a bit and then we disappear again, and it's a gesture.
We
but
see
it's
that
not,
so many things. The Great North Festival, a lot of people in the arts and culture community that I know have said, why are we commissioning people from London to come and do it? We could do it. The reason I've opened my phone is I'm not doing my emails. I was looking up some facts and figures that I've got, because there's loads of them. When you say about, it should have been done in the past, you're right, Bessie, but, I can't fix the past. It's about what we're doing now to fix this that matters. So Biker Grove is coming back, and it is about that ecosystem, because unless there are big productions here, then we're not going to have a sustainable industry in it. So that was the first thing we had to crack. If it's what I was saying before, any business needs customers, and unless we have that pipeline of people putting money into it because they want some products out of it, TV shows typically in this case, then the whole thing isn't going to work. So that's what we had to crack first. And behind that, a lot of these skills are transferable. If you're an electrician, you're an electrician. It doesn't matter what TV show you're on. If you're a sound operator, well, it might be for telly, or it might be for events, or it might be for live theatre. That most of that is transferable skills, slightly different kit, but that's it. So overall, Combined Authority, we run a number of cultural programmes. Bearing in mind, 4 years ago, I walked through the door, there were 3 members of staff, and I had to build this thing from scratch. So I think we've gone really quickly. We have the Culture and Creative Investment Programme, that's £3.25 million. Culture and Creative Zones, £5.25 million. There's one in Newcastle, there's one in Berwick, there's one in North Shields. And these are about making things available for local productions, local development. Perhaps some of it's developing centres and buildings.
And I was going to say, what do they look like, and what do they feel like? Are they centres? Are they places? Are they hubs?
We let the local people decide that. So some of it is done in partnership with the local authorities and the local arts communities. So some of it is making a building available. Some of it might be the funding to run skills training there. Some of it might be access to kit. Some of it, a significant amount of it, is to help small businesses access the cash to get themselves up and running. So Lime Street Studios in the Eusburn, a lot of people might know, there's funding for businesses there to get money in. £2 million for the Creative People Skills for Growth programme, and that is directly to fund the programmes for people to get the skills. We've put in nearly £3 million of the 11 million in the North East Screen Industries Partnership. And then there's also a lot of stuff in tourism and culture, which has a strong overlap. There's about £3.5 million in that, and then £1 million into what's called the hospitality. It's called HITS, and it's Hospitality, Innovation, Tourism, Supply Chain, to make it sound like HITS. And that is about making sure that local businesses, and this is in the case of food, for example, so sustainability, are able to sell their products. So we do meet the buyer events and we fund that, so that people who are buying for Phoenix or the supermarkets are getting to meet the small suppliers who normally couldn't get through the door because they're not big enough, and promoting them. Or when tourists come to the region, it's making things available like that they can book. If you're a small business, setting up an internet-based sales business, it's a lot of work and it might not get you the payback if you've got to put all the capital in yourself. We make it available collectively, and it's leading to thousands and thousands of products being ordered from local businesses. And there's clearly an overlap between creative tourism and the creative industries that are broadcast.
Great. Well, I hope you can carry on the dialogue and get some help somewhere. But thank you.